It's the Break Free blog. That's Anne.
This is
I'm Zach.
That's Zach.
We're talking about recovering from a horrible incident.
So now we are off stage. We have made a mistake that made us feel terrible in the moment. We maybe wanted to die. Maybe we did a little bit.
Died inside.
Inside. We need to specify. But we either recovered or we didn't. But now we're off stage. So what do you do post big mistake? Okay.
Can I ask an initial question?
Please.
When you described your situation that you talked about in video number 1, and if you haven't seen that video number 1, I suggest you go back and watch that. But afterwards, how did your bandmates, like when you walked off stage, did they say anything?
No, because I beat them to it.
That is my point, is that we are almost, and Ann and I did not rehearse that, but I was like, I bet Ann will walked off stage and went, I'm so sorry, I messed that up.
Exactly, yeah. No, and not only did I apologize, I thanked them for covering for me so well. So.
Oh, that's a good bandmate move. That's
kind of like my tip number 1 is like acknowledge the situation and like, if people helped you survive, tell them thank you.
Yes. It's hard for people to be mad at you if you're thanking them.
Right. While smiling.
Yeah. I know I screwed that up. Thank you.
Right. And then they're like, they can't they can, but they're going to look like a total jerk if they're like, yeah, so why did you mess that up that you've never messed up before that we've done how many times?
I will say one time when I was a lawyer, I got so mad at somebody, they wound up trying to do that to me, and I screamed at them in the courthouse, "You're welcome," and then I just kept yelling at them. But okay, so you've addressed it with your bandmates. Now, what does Ann Luna do?
So now, it's kind of like consolation mode, and so
which is my favorite scale, the consolation.
Exactly. There's Mixolydian, Lydian, Locrian, and consolation.
Yeah. Which is a sub mode of Phrygian, but that's neither here nor there.
But it's a very important mode. So, it's putting things in perspective. It's looking at, okay, whether you completely bombed or you rescued things, looking at, okay, this moment does not define me as a human being. My whole worth is not tied up in that mistake. And I remember, things, I've kind of got my handful of quotes that help put things in perspective, such as the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And so, if I'm looking at, and then if I look at it like that, then I've got something to celebrate. It's like, all right, this is just me on my journey, and messing up is part of it, and I survived, and and then it's looking at also whenever I'm ready, okay, what did I learn from that? And, was it because I wasn't prepared? Was it because I got distracted? Is it because I physically wasn't feeling good? Did I let something throw me off? And if I can identify that, that's great. I can usually do something about it. I can be like, oh yeah, so I should have sang through that one time backstage before, assuming I knew all those verses.
Right.
Or, be like, yeah, I never had that solo ready. I thought I could pull it off and I didn't, There's that. Or it's the, I need to not be, looking out in the audience so much and getting distracted because, I get distracted.
I do that too.
Or, too, if I can get distracted by my bandmates too if they're having something that's off, and that throws me if I'm not careful. And so it's whenever I'm questioning whenever my own confidence is failing, and I start questioning if I know what I'm doing is usually when I flub up. And so it's looking at, okay, how can I bring intensity and focus to my performance, and looking at, whatever it is that may involve.
But I think there's two pieces to that, because you and I have talked about that sometimes the best way to have a great performance is when you have your mind just sort of clear and you just do. And
Yeah, yeah, you're just there, you know,
Mhm.
and whether you're jamming or rehearsing or writing or whatever, for me, those are the most magic moments when I'm not thinking and I'm just fully
Yeah,
present. And I guess really in life, it's like the bigger analogy of life of, you know, if I can be here now, yeah, there's nothing to miss out on, you
right.
know, and there's, yeah,
Yeah, and I would say at least for my routine, whenever I have a bad night or something goes wrong, um, I do a lot of like, well, should I not have played that song? Because it usually happens in the context of my solo acoustic stuff, where
right,
I'll go out and, oh, I haven't played that song in a while. That would be fun. And then I get on stage and I'm like, I don't remember what. Like, why did I start this song? Um, so for me, a lot of the times it comes back to preparation, where maybe I just didn't know it as well as I thought I should have, and beating out of myself that preparation is a bad thing, because so many times it grates on me now when I hear musicians say, well, I just want it to be spontaneous, I want it to be loose. And I say, no, you are courting a train wreck. You
right.
need to know what you're doing so that you do it so well that you can
Mhm.
zone out, and then you're spontaneous. But until
Right.
you can let your mind just be in the moment, like you were talking about, you can't really be spontaneous, because you have to think about every single little thing because you don't know the material.
Right. Well, and then there's all these other variables that come into play, you know, because you've got an audience, you've got, you know, the energy of performance, you
Hmm.
know, and so if you've done your part beforehand and you're feeling well rehearsed and you know your stuff, you're on automatic, and then you're free to enjoy the moment
Hmm.
more, and you
Yep.
can be spontaneous because you already know your foundation is solid.
Yep. Absolutely. So I think it's funny that our biggest takeaways turned out to be, hey, when your biggest like post trauma um, thing is oftentimes go, huh? Do I need to rehearse more?
Right.
Maybe that's
Oh, maybe I need to go home and
maybe I need to practice.
practice.
Ah,
You know,
and you're
it never goes away. You
it
know?
never stops. And I would say the other thing that Ian said that I find to be very powerful is try and stay in the moment as much as possible. To, if something goes wrong, address it, and then get yourself back in the zone of optimal musicianness. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, this has been the Break Free Vlog Blog. Um, do us a favor. I have got to start doing this at the beginning, but please subscribe. There's also a notification bell where you can click it and you will get notifications when our new videos come out. Um, that helps us out a lot as we're trying to spread the word about being fantastic indie musicians and figuring out what the heck we're doing. Um, you can find me on Twitter at Zak_Sloan. And Ann, you're at Ann.
Luna Music.
Yep, and that's Facebook for you, right? Is that your best? Is your preferred?
And that's Facebook. That's also my Instagram now too. I've joined the Instagram world.
What?
I have.
I'm getting on
So
that. Can't wait to see some of Ann's cat pictures.
yes, and I'm also on Twitter. That's Ann_Luna_music.
Yeah, I do all those things too, but really Zak_Sloan at Twitter's where I basically live. So just catch me there, or go to ZakSloan.com. It's ZAKSLOAN. Anyway, Ann, enjoy whatever you got going on in that dope concert hall.
You enjoy yeah, whatever you got going on in your studio today there, Zach.
You know what? I've got a show tonight that's kind of important, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of. I'm actually gonna be doing some rehearsal for my gig tonight.
Awesome.
All right, take care, yo.
We'll see you.